What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why I just went all in on MULN this morning at 1776. What are the odds, and when are we going to cruise up through 32 on our way towards $1 organically without a reverse split? And what is the line in the sand that we must not cross, or it's going to be lights out for anyone, including yours truly, that owns the stock? All that and more coming right up. Happy Monday to everybody out there. We're approaching the 2 o'clock hour. Last trade on MULN, 205, as MCOM is now approaching 12 cents a share. What a buy they all were across the board at 10 cents and small change. But let me start off before we go any further. And this is going to be jam-packed with levels of resistance, time frames. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you like, share, and put your comments below. But we have somebody I call the world-class hater. You may have seen me on Friday share a post of that title with a heart, because I am full of love for you, small business owners trading the stock market. But I've been diagnosed quickly with clown face. Yes, because I have rosy cheeks. It's not because it's the middle of summer and 95 degrees outside, and I am an intense guy. No, I apparently have clown cheeks, which is indicative of advanced pulmonary heart disease. And on top of that, I'm psychotic and most likely addicted to hardcore narcotics. So if something does happen to me, rest her soul, my mother did die in 2015, way before a time of a stroke. Now you know why. I've got clown face, heart disease, drugs, etc., etc. For the record, my last physical, before I tell you why I just went all in on MULN, I had the best blood pressure in 15 years. 122/81. And for me, that's as close to normal as I've been since I was 30, maybe 35. Other than one of the peace pipe about 3 years ago, I haven't touched any drugs whatsoever, no offense to those who like to smoke, in 15 years. When I was young, I was addicted to alcohol and pills. And while I talked about it maybe 2 years ago, I'll share it again sometime soon. X was my drug of choice, and it nearly took my ass out. And if it wasn't for my late father, rest his soul, I wouldn't be here today. So I do not condone the use of drugs. I myself have been squeaky clean other than that one incident, and I felt guilty for about a month, to be honest with you. And while I occasionally drink a little too much and I care way over levels that I should, I'm feeling just fine. So if you want to laugh, go check it out. World-class hater. And with that said, last trade on MULN, 205. For the record, and I'm going to try to slow down, as the hater said, and speak more clearly. And again, my mother wants me to do the same. I am long the stock at $1.13. And for the last several videos, I've talked about 5 key levels of resistance: 14, 17, 21.5, a quarter, and 30. Why did I say that? Actually, roll that back. Must be the clown face. Why did I say stop buying MULN at 118? Because I was long the stock much higher. No signs of life. They did the reverse split. We crashed down and through $1. We are not NASDAQ compliant, and it's been just a never-ending cascade of insider selling and massive dilution when combined with piss-poor execution going back almost 10 years. However, when we got down to a dime, that in addition to MCOM, I said was massively oversold. They were both down 99.9% since going public. MCOM was formerly known as Hellbiz, and they offered value. Why am I buying this morning at 1776 and not a dime? Well, at the time, I didn't have any liquidity. And you might notice we've racked up 12 straight winners on Twitter at Try Small Biz for 412% returns. And yes, I sold TTOO at a dime, and it got to as high as 16.5 this morning. So you could have made another 50 or 65% on a stock that I gave you for free. Going back 16 months, 731% returns, over 400 in the last 12 trades alone. So if I had liquidity at a dime on MULN, and I did buy some MCOM at 11.34, I would have bought some. I thought it was insanely oversold. I gave you at the time, slow down, Jason, take a deep breath. That clown face might get you. When we got to a dime and I said it was oversold, and if you wanted to gamble and roll the dice, be my guest, I said there was a 25% chance we were going to get up and through 30 cents. We did. We zoomed up. We tripled from a dime to 32 and change. By the way, the same level where David, CEO of MULN, sold millions of shares last year or the year before. Same price, 32 cents. So was that him in there after he apparently gifted himself 6.4 million shares, reverse split adjusted for compensation based on performance? I don't know. It could have been the guys that own the warrants that were convertible from 1601 to 1696. Take your pick. If it was David, boy, oh boy, is that going to be bad, because that's in front of, because the filing was on the 5th of July, hiring a lawyer to go after the naked short sellers and announcing a $25 million buyback. So if he was dumb enough, and I don't think he was actually, to sell in front of or behind that, it's going to be a major problem. But we tripled in the stock from a dime to 32. Then we had the big red down bar, which had to be him and most likely the guys, Acuitas and change, that own the warrants at 16. So they got out of some or all of what they own down there, in my opinion. We then had a stock that was gagging at a quarter, and I multiple times said 17 to 22 was the buy zone. And then on Thursday night, Friday morning, I said, and it was part tongue-in-cheek in support of the founding of this country, I'm a buyer at 1776. And that's when the stock was over 23. Oh, it's never going to get down that low. I thought it was. Why? Fibonacci retracements. 50 and 61.8 was at 17 and change. That also coincides with that gap, right? We went from a dime to 17. We gapped at 19 the following day, filling the gap. Very bullish, very necessary for the long-term health of the stock. So I went all in this morning with the profits that I had taken, in case you didn't hear me, 12 winners in a row for 412% profit from the TTOO, and I put it into MULN. I have a massive position, probably more than I should have. I've always told you guys and gals, 10, no more than 15%. I have slightly more than the latter. So I'm up to my ass in MCOM at 68 and MULN at 69. And isn't it rather ironic as we come back down below 20, do not panic on MULN, that I have an average that's basically the same for those two shit peas in the same pod, right? It's two of the worst CEOs in NASDAQ history that have run their stocks into the ground minus 99.9%. However, every dog has its day. And I believe it was way overdone in both cases at a dime. So if you were like me and you were buying MULN at 10 or at 17 and change, I think the low this morning, in fact, was 1751 on MULN, or you got some more MCOM near 11 cents today, along with MobQ and CRKN, Charlie, Robert, Kevin, Nancy, and MobQ is in quarter. Those are 3 or 4 11-cent stocks that I would highly recommend. But again, try to keep your position size at 10 to 15. So what are the odds and what is the line in the sand in closing that we have to hold in order for the bulls in MULN to have a chance? Well, I go back to the same thing that I've been saying now for weeks. You had 5 levels of resistance: 14, 17, 21 and a half, a quarter, and 30. What was resistance now on the way back down becomes support. So I said repeatedly we had to hold 17. And if we give up the holy line, grail line in the sand, 14, it's lights out. If we somehow break 17 support and go down and take out the 5th and final level before we challenge and take out new lows again at a dime, it's over. You've got a massive reverse split. This thing's going to 2 or 3 cents. Pre or post split, take your pick. So we have to hold, in my opinion, for the bull story to remain intact, 17. If we go down and challenge 14 and hold, the odds that we ever get to $1 organically, 0. But if we do hold 17 and we back and fill, as I said this morning on Twitter, between 20, let's call it 18 and 22, very healthy. You've got to build energy in order to challenge a quarter and then try and take out 32. If we can do that over the next 2 weeks. So it's chop around between here and 22. Last trade 1975, totally normal. And then take out a quarter in 32. And you want to be on volume, right? We got close to 2 billion shares 2-3 days ago. When and if we do take out 32, you want that kind of volume, even more. Let the FOMO just be fucking 6 feet deep. You take out a half. I'm sitting right now at 65 cents or whereabouts or thereabouts in terms of where I own both that and MCOM. I will have to make a decision at that time. Is there a loan coming through? I think Nikola got $40 million about a week or so ago. If they get a loan and it kind of christens MULN as one of the legitimate EV players, you have to take that into account. If they start to produce, maybe at levels bigger and better than we thought, you have to take that into account. If you get another major institution, along with the ones that have been buying recently, to come in and not only take a position, but how about a price target of $2, $3, $4, maybe $5 a share, looking out over the next 12 to 20 more months, then I'll have to take that into account. But if the stock remains true to form over the course of the last 10 years, and we take out 14, we're looking at one hell of a wipeout. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, in a somewhat tuned down video, always remember that I love you and thanks for watching. By the way, ladies, have you seen Lion Larry's Lounge? I shared it on Thursday or Friday. You got to go to his Facebook page. On your mobile app, hit the videos link. Scroll down about 5 or 6. This rivals the red light district. I mean, the lights are down. You've got the red ambiance, the speakers, the candles are lit, the wine is pouring. You got Jeffrey Osborne on the 1s and 2s. I'm talking, Lord, have mercy. Woo!